Let's hear it for Mr. Saitej A, co-founder and CEO. Coinovy as the winner of Most Influential Young Leaders 2021-22. Mr. Saitej A. Congratulations. You know, having these young leaders here really gives us a sense of young and dynamic India A. So let's really put our hands together for that. Let's give it up to welcome Mr. Shyam Anand.
A very warm evening to all the panelists. It's a great pleasure to have you all here, stalwarts from different industries. So the topic is very interesting, very much related to the pandemic, conceptualizing the world as a family in the post-pandemic scenario. So we are all, very much aware of the fact that the world is a family, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, the Indian concept, which we are all very much aware, and it's not very foreign to us. In fact, it's very inherent in our very DNA, to live and let live, and the world is one family. So dwelling on this concept, we like to elaborate how it's so necessary that we engage with the world's problems today by considering the world as a family. So we all know that the boundaries of the world were blurred in 2020 when the pandemic struck, and the humanity was brought to fore. Even India had a very bad second wave, help poured from all quarters. So what we can do is how we see, because humanity was there, everybody wanted to help. Help was pouring in from all quarters, from US, UK, Europe, everywhere. So when the boundaries of nations get blurred, when our very existence as a human race is threatened, what's the need to come together and, to collaborate for global problems like food crisis, energy crisis, inflation, and the effects of global warming? This is my common question to all of you. So let's start with Mr. Saitej.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. I think I'm the youngest panelist here. This concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, yes, as she said, Richa said, it's very into our culture. It's not something new that we are learning today or something parents taught us. For us, it is very common thing. But when we go out of country, they don't understand what is Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. And world is one. Now we call it as when it. I was one who suffered a lot during the pandemic, and no one to blame. To be very frank, we can't tell government is doing something wrong or someone else. But we found opportunities in this pandemic. A lot of industries grow. Whenever crisis comes, some industries goes down, some industries boom. We should be able to catch the stream. And what I learned from maybe India, from the government in these last 2 years is we never gave up on helping the world. I mean, for me, it was while growing up, I'm just 30 now, it inspired me. Whenever the world is suffering through the vaccine drive or vaccine Maitri, what India helped, and if you see Afghan crisis and now Sri Lankan crisis, whatever happens, India stood first, irrespective of media promotions, whatever they did their job, and it has given a path for us. Okay, we have to live this way, and I'm very happy that I'm from India. I'm very proud. I think maybe a few years back it was not the same. They used to see maybe racial discriminations, a lot of things. Even today we face when we go out. But today the picture is different. What I am facing, that's purely my experience. I don't know. I can elaborate or I can tell. We can give some solution to my experience. But as a technology company owner, I keep traveling. Keep meeting a lot of people from different nations, from Southeast Asia, from Middle East, Europe. Uh, I saw a huge change, a respect towards Indians in last 5 years, and that is something that make us proud and make us give some energy to go and achieve something better, more. And these crises, as she was talking about crisis, like food, yes, again, India was in the forefront to support. For medicines, India was in the forefront to support. In the climate change, we are today suffering a lot, and India is standing by 2070. We wanted to become net zero, which is most impossible, but I don't know. Yes, government is working towards it, and if they get it, and yeah, we can be again proud. I don't know whether I'll be living at 2070 or not, but definitely, hopefully, we will become net zero by 2070. And small, what I felt as we should also work on not just a GDP or not just a supporting economy. We also should work how to become a net zero country. It should start from everyone, like how we have a world as one in our blood and our families. The same way, how can we make sure that we reduce the greenhouse gases? I think carbon credits has to come into individuals, like how internet has come, how YouTube is in everyone's life today, how digital payments took over everyone. I think carbon credits has to come. That is the way I think we can reduce the global warming.
That was quite enriching indeed. So basically, thing is that concern for humanity, concern for the suffering, is the basic premise which drives us to contribute towards society, giving back to society. So that concern is there, because once you don't have that concern, you don't really care about the suffering of the poor and the hungry and the malnourished. So that is the basic premise concern. So what our second question is, the pandemic definitely threw open umpteen opportunities to give back to society. So our question is the pandemic also an opportunity for coming together of nations on a global level for fixing issues intriguing the world such as poverty, hunger, homelessness, overpopulation, racial discrimination and gender inequality? So how we have to come together as a family and bring together solutions for these social issues intriguing humanity as a family, one world, one family. So let's start with Mr. Saitej.
Thank you. The subject of social, it's a big topic. And I was talking about racial discrimination just now, because which I faced myself when I was traveling around the world. I mean, when we face that, it's not an easy. Then, yeah, spiritually, I got some solution how to face it. To be very frank, uh, because at that point, maybe I'm very young, so I get frustrated why they are behaving like this. Sometimes you don't understand why they are behaving like this. Uh, but pandemic taught us a lot of things because we were not ready. For example, almost a year and a half, the borders were closed. To be very frank, our whole business was outside India, so we were affected a lot. More than 100 employees' life affected directly, and their families, and they can't even go out and get the job immediately, at least for 6 months. So it gave a question mark to us. We need to be prepared for something which we are not. We are talking about global village, but we are not ready. For example, when we are unable to travel, the whole business is getting struck. Supply chains are disrupted. Like energy crisis, if you see, now we are facing not just because of pandemic. It's because of Ukraine war as well. And again, we don't have anything to do with that, but still we are suffering. Somewhere it's Europe's problem. We are still suffering for that, and I think yes, still we are not ready for that. We are not ready. We don't have the solutions yet, and unfortunately now the globe is going through the recession. Yes, for now India is in the safe point, but I don't know how long, because if affects Europe and US, it definitely will affect us. But I don't think it'll be that bad. When I thought of what can be done as an immediate thing, I think payments has to be disrupted. The first thing, the SWIFT. So we are completely dependent on US SWIFT. Like Russia, one day it might come to us. Okay. I think we should work on payments, which is most crucial thing. We don't want to. India is working. India is already pioneer because our UPI is most. Even it has beaten cryptocurrencies. Our UPI system. I'm personally a fan of Indian UPI, and I'm still trying to learn a lot of things from that, and it's really helpful for the world. And that is one more thing that India can give to the globe. Uh, than completely dependent on Swift, let us move on to some other technologies, maybe decentralized or UPI is one of the best examples, and I think India is doing that. And rest of the areas, yes, food crisis we are helping, but I don't think, to my knowledge, we still have issues with World Trade Organization. India, though we have food, we are unable to supply to the world. Government is facing that issues. I don't know what is I can't understand that deep. What is the real problem behind it? Why WTO has to stop India from supplying wheat? The same, they stopped Iranian oil, Venezuelan oil. There is, supply, but someone is stopping it, which is out of our control. I don't know where the solution is. Hopefully, with I have future. Maybe another 30 years I can work. We'll work. Whatever we can do, we'll do the best. That much I can promise.
Definitely, Mr. Saitej. Thank you.
Hi, we are a Web3 based company. We work on blockchain technologies. We're one of the top world's company because we started early. And I know this is a long road ahead, and it might be a long journey. We are working for that. And I dedicate this to my team sitting there and working from globally. Thank you guys. It's all because of you.
Any words for AsiaOne?
Great job, guys.